Hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
Welcome back.
We're saging the room
I love the way that smells.
so that we have a powerful conversation here.
Thank you.
Get rid of those spirits. Okay.
So, how do you want to start us today?
I saw some post, like, somebody was saying, like, the crazy Latina was upset about the fact that the media keeps calling us crazy, crazy Latina, or that the crazy Latina is, like, adorable, you know, and like, she's fun to make fun of.
Okay.
And so I guess there's a group of people who don't like that. I personally think I don't care. That's my answer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're crazy. We are definitely crazy.
I think crazy knows no bounds. So Latinas are crazy. White women are crazy.
That's right.
Asian women are crazy.
That's right.
And so are the men.
Everybody has their crazy.
Everybody has a little bit of crazy in them.
Every culture has a little bit of a specific crazy, and women are crazy. But I'm not saying crazy in like, yeah, some of them are really fucking insane, right? And dangerous. But I'm saying crazy,
Yes.
like we're different than men in that we're very emotional. So, okay, well then why are you calling emotions crazy? Because they drive you crazy. Having high emotions makes you feel crazy.
Yeah, when your emotions are out of control, it's terrible.
It's awful.
When your emotions are like dominating everything, how like you're able to act, right? If you're not in control of your emotions, you're out of control, which is crazy.
Okay? A mentally ill homeless person comes up to you at your table while you're outside dining and starts blah, 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 spilling all over your dinner, basically, because he's emotional. We call that crazy. Well, we're in the middle of a fight with somebody. They kind of feel the same way when they're just spewing emotions on you. And sometimes you don't even know where it's coming from. And you're trying to make sense of it. In that moment, it is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody was witnessing it, they'd be like, crazy.
I've definitely been in arguments where I'm like, what? Like, where is that even coming from? Where
Right.
the emotions are so high and the person across from me isn't able to have like a logical thought. You know, it's almost like the logic is out the window.
Right.
And anything can be said. Any kind of circumstance can be created.
The history can
Like, just-
come up. In 2002, you did XYZ. It's like,
Or even things you've never even done before, but it's like,
Right.
oh, what if? It's like, what if it hasn't even happened? Why is
The
this even
what
a part of this
if.
conversation?
That's
Why is it even a
funny.
part of this argument?
that sounds personal, the what if. Who does the what if to you?
Don't matter.
Come on, sis. Give us a what if that Nelson gives you. What if what?
I honestly, I don't have one that sticks out to me, but I definitely have
come
been involved
on.
in.
She's protecting him.
No, it's not about protecting. It's literally that I have a terrible memory. I don't really remember.
Okay, has he ever said, what if you meet someone you like?
Oh, yeah, he has. He's definitely thrown that what if out there at me. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do with that type of question because it's based on an unreality. Like, it's not real. It's not happening. And so I don't know what to do with a question like that. And so the conversation goes nowhere because how do you move through conversation with
How do you have a serious conversation
something
with a what if
that isn't
scenario?
real? It's
Right.
not like a scenario that is not real. Like, how do you expect me to answer? This thing is not happening. Like, I have no idea. Or it's like, well, if you were in that situation, how would you handle it? I have no idea. I'm not in it. And so even if it's, you know, talking about someone else's story and then that question is posed to me, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not in it. Like, I cannot judge what another person is going to be doing in that situation because they're the ones going through it. It's not me.
Yeah, I think that's a healthy approach. Well, I mean, I certainly, as it relates to Crazy Latina, I love watching Crazy Latina TikToks and Reels because I can totally relate. And
You feel seen?
Well, yeah, part of me does, feel seen, and I've seen it in our culture. I've seen it in myself, and I think I've healed a lot of it. I think a lot of the real crazy, like the emotional pieces, I think that comes from trauma. And in all honesty, I think it's a trauma response. And if we were to look at it from that lens, then we would have compassion for her, because there's a lot of trauma that has happened for women in history, and especially as it relates to our culture. It's the over sexualized, it's the fiery, spicy thing that is probably natural to our blood. We are very passionate. We feel deeply. Not everyone, but a lot of us, most of us. And that can be misunderstood. We live life big. I mean, Celia Cruz, la vida es un carnaval. Like, we live like it's a party, and we live big. We love hard. That's not a stereotype. That's it. Now, if some crazy goes in there, then is a character in our culture. It's not the only character.
You know what's funny?
But it is a character.
I had a pastor once tell me that I was too emotional. And I remember just feeling hurt by that comment, that I would be called emotional because I was experiencing emotions around something that happened to me. And
Who is he, sis?
Oh, no. I don't need to tell names, but...
Do I know him?
I don't know. You might. But I just remember I carried that label of being too emotional. I carried it as a negative thing for a long time. And it wasn't until I was maybe in my late 20s that I actually was like, wow, what a blessing it is that I have emotions, that I can feel emotion, that I can be sad when I see something in the world that's sad, right? That my heart can break for humanity, right? That, because there's so many people that walk around and they're so cold, they're so disconnected from their emotions. They don't feel anything.
Right.
They don't feel love. They feel, or maybe they only feel hatred. They are always angry. But they don't have those expressions of,
but I think that's
tenderness and love. Like, my emotions are not a negative thing. My emotions show me that I'm connected to the pulse of humanity. Like, I'm here and I'm feeling.
Yeah,
we're
totally.
all feeling.
But
we're
don't
all
you think that part of the anger that people experience is because they don't feel the other emotions that connect us to everybody else?
I do.
Because anger is not a connector.
Yeah.
To feel connected to someone else, you have to feel feelings. You have to feel warmth. Love, warmth, joy, admiration. You've got to feel something. If you feel constantly anger, that's like a separating thing. You're actually against them, I think. And it's hard to feel those feelings that we all long for. And so, to your point about emotions, I did a ceremony once where I did shrooms, and I did it with strangers. What a fucking terrible idea.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do mushrooms with strangers.
Terrible idea. I did it with strangers, and it was on New Year's Eve, thinking that I was going to have like some revelatory fucking blast into the new year. And it was like 4 a.m. I was like, I want to go home.
I feel like that's just New Year's in general. That's how I feel about the holiday. It is always such a drag. It always disappoints. New Year's to me.
Wait, let me finish my story.
Worst.
So I was like, can I go home? And they wouldn't send me home because I couldn't drive home because I was under the thing. They're like, no. They had like guards at the door. They wouldn't let me leave.
Good.
And
I'm glad.
I know. So I had to sit there, and some stranger came, and it was very sweet. He's like, can I come next to you? And I was like, okay. He was like, here, deprive your senses. So he put like a mask over my head, and he's like, some earplugs, and he put me in a blanket, and he's like, just get quiet. He's like, you're just overstimulated. And that totally calmed me down. And I got really still. And when I was able to get really still was when I felt the effects of the mushroom being able to like teach me something, because these little plant medicine creatures help you see things you can't see. One of the things that what was revealed to me was, well, this is what it was said. It was said, one day you're going to understand why you feel so much, because you're going to help people with their feelings. So it was like, I have to go through it to understand the level of void, the level of loneliness, the level of sadness, the level of fear that people experience in their life. And I'm going to go through it so that I can help them know that there is another side to it.
And sis, you've really come a long way. You really have. I'm actually getting emotional.
So hard.
No, but I really am. I'm remembering.
I cried every episode.
That's good. Crying is good. But I'm remembering, what year was it? I can't remember the year, but I know you were going through a breakup, and it might have been your divorce. And right after that, you were in a very, very low place. Like you couldn't get out of the bed. And I would come to your home in the middle of the day and you would still be under the covers.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was just hard for you. Like you were in the depths of it. And you were also in the middle of your career. And my name is Earl. And you were battling a lot emotionally then.
It was deep depression, deep, guys. Like, I don't want to be here kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like, really, you can take me, God. I never got close to suicide ideations. Like, but whatever is right before that. You know what I mean? I always felt like there was a breakthrough that was supposed to happen. I still believe that my life is supposed to be about having breakthroughs and being able to share them and guide people through it, because I feel like a lot of healers, coaches, whatever, they can relate and they're showing you the other side. But to me, is very few that just walk alongside with you, you know, to kind of have compassion for where you're at, and also to encourage, you know, to just relate to you, to relate. I think that's like the in-between place between depression and your healed self. There's this in-between void, weird, unidentifiable lost land. It's the void. And sometimes it feels like forever. So what is the other side of it? And I didn't think I could get even to this side, because it was so deeply dark. I remember moving into my townhouse, and as soon as I moved in, that first Thanksgiving, I was depressed. But my neighbor committed suicide. They found her body on Christmas. So she was there the whole time, dead. And I remember going up to her apartment and just like feeling her darkness, you know, to get to the point where you want to kill yourself. You have to be so gone from reaching out for help. And just made me so sad. Like, I understand. You know, I have a lot of compassion for anybody there, and I can't even imagine, but
Yeah.
So the crazy Latina, I think we're rooted in trauma, and I feel for her. But I also find it funny because there's comedy in pain. That's where comedy comes from. You know, the Shakespearean masks of this joy and sadness, like they're intertwined. Like life itself is beautiful, but life is tragic. It's a tragedy. At the end of the day, God wrote a tragedy because we all
everything dies. We all lose.
We all lose the thing we love. Like it is a fucking tragedy,
right?
Mixed with a lot of beauty before that happens, and a lot of joy and a lot of connection and a lot of love. So, mommy, do you think mommy was crazy?
Mommy, I've always looked at mom as like tiny and mighty. Has a lot of strength and can also play very small. So there's parts of mom that I want to absorb and keep. And then there's parts of mom that I see and I go, I don't want to choose that.
Do you think I'm like her? I feel like I'm more like her in the strong and mighty, and then the weak part. Like I vacillate between.
You vacillate for sure
complete
between the two,
and helplessness to power, strength, like almost bipolar.
Yeah, the two of you are very similar in that way, for sure. Yep.
You think I'm bipolar?
I don't think I am qualified to make that designation.
Girl, you have judgments.
I don't think I'm qualified to make that designation, but I for sure have experienced your highs and your lows and experienced them very close together. I know that your emotions can go up and down very quickly.
I saw an episode that Anne Hathaway did, and I can't remember the name of the show, but she played a bipolar girl, and I was like, was there a hidden camera in my apartment? I've never gotten that diagnosis, but I definitely feel like my emotions can be out of control and that I can't get them until I do a lot of self-regulating. I think it's interfered with my career. I think it's interfered my relationship with men and the relationship I have with myself.
What about relationships with your friends?
Yeah, for sure. Especially when I was in my 20s and 30s. Oh my God. Nobody could get close to me.
Yeah, you didn't really have friends.
I was running everybody off. Everybody.
What shifted for you? Because I really, and even friends who've known us and, you know, have known you from years ago, they're just like, I think sometimes like really surprised even by our closeness and just like who you are, you know, and you've changed so much. And I feel like a lot of times I'm having that conversation with my friends who knew you as someone different and who behave differently. And I'm like, my sister's come a long way. Like she's not the same person anymore.
Right.
What was it that changed for you?
I think being in my spiritual community and just like learning what love looks like, being loved through my pain by people who really love me, and seeing that that's what I needed. It was just more love, not more hate or more like separation. Like I didn't know that love could really heal you, and love can really heal you, like if it's genuine. And so I just kept feeling it. Like I had a community that did. I had Aziz who loved me through every fucking bipolar version of myself, you know. She would sit me on her lap. I remember one time we were in Egypt and I was crying. I was like, Aziz, I was like, I don't know what to do because I knew I wanted to get a divorce, but like I didn't know how to, like, I didn't want to be on my own and by myself. Like I knew I was entering a phase of my life that I was uncertain about, but I knew I had to do it. And I was crying in Egypt. I could not be present. And we were outside and she said, come here. She sat me on her lap and she just held me like this. And she's like, look at the moon, look at the stars. And I just looked and I just felt her arms around me. She's like, isn't that beautiful? Like grown ass woman with this woman just holding me. And I felt her love and I was like, oh, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what love is. And then that just heals. Sis, I don't know how to describe it, but love just heals you. Like it just starts to repair you from the inside and you just start making different choices and then you start extending it because that's the next thing you want to do.
Yeah.
Is be there and do that for others. So like, I feel like that's what changed me and that's what's changing me.
Yeah, I feel I had a similar transformation. I don't know if it was being the youngest in the family, right? That always made me feel like I was on the outside. You know, there was what happened to you, I'm sure we'll cover another day, but what happened in our family that was like a big event that caused a lot of disruption when we were younger. And because I was the youngest, I was kept from the truth. And so I knew that there was a lot happening, but I knew that I was on the outside. And then I had to do a lot of my own kind of digging and sneaking around to get the information that I needed because I wasn't getting it from the people around me. And so I feel what like that just created for me an identity as being on the outside, being an outsider, not being included, which then translated to like not being wanted. And it just really felt separate from everybody. And so I've always felt very separate from like in my friendships and in my relationships, just like not quite all the way in.
You still feel that?
It's better. I've worked on it a lot, but, and so into adulthood, I really felt like it didn't matter if I showed up, let's say, to an event that a friend invited me to, or a party or whatever, a gathering. Like, this might seem really small, but on a deeper level, it was having a deep impact on me because I was isolating and I wasn't having connections with people, and I was really lonely and I really wanted deeper connections, but I was keeping myself from those connections because I was kind of convinced that I didn't matter, that I dealt with a lot of social anxiety. I would get ready to go places, and then as I'm leaving the door, I would shut the door and just be like, I don't want to go. Or I would literally drive up to a party or a get together and I would just sit in my car and I wouldn't go in. Or if I did get the courage to like get inside, then I would just isolate there. I would find a book and I would read it. And I would kind of like be there, but not be there. Disconnect. Because I really, really, really felt like I didn't belong and that nobody really cared if I was there.
How the hell did you change it? Because I still struggle with that, sis. Like, it's big time.
I did.
But you seem like everyone's your friend.
So before I did Landmark, and we talked about Landmark on the last episode, I did Landmark, I had done a version of that with a smaller group and through my church that I was a part of. And that was kind of like the beginning for me of starting that work, the work of like looking inward, like kind of getting, what is the story I'm telling myself? What are the protections I've created for myself that help me feel safe in my trauma? And what's my trauma? Like, what is there? And so that was like the beginning. So the first one I did was the one that showed me that I really believe that I'm not wanted. And it didn't matter if it didn't matter if I was around or not. Like, I really felt like it didn't matter if I died. It just didn't matter. And I left that training and I used what I learned in that training to help me just talk myself out of the story that I always would play in my mind. And I remember there was one event, I went to this like golf event with a bunch of friends from this gym that I was a part of. And it was a golf event, which, so I'm feeling out. LW. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm feeling out of sorts because I'm like the Latina in a white kind of like environment, right? So that's one thing. I would feel out of place because I'm the Latina and I'm around a bunch of white people. And but that's just story, right? A
bunch of white people. That's mean.
Okay. Well,
you can just
look, it was just a story. I don't believe it anymore. And so I was just separate. And I remember being on the side and seeing like my friends all talking, laughing, having fun, and having that overwhelming feeling of you're not wanted there. Like, they don't want you. They're not your friends. And I just remember having at least that, like, okay, this thought is the thought that keeps me separate. And I'm not going to believe it. And I'm going to go back to the group because the thought would have kept me from going back and reconnecting.
Right.
And I would have just gone and been alone. And instead I was like, no, I'm not going to believe this. I'm going back into the group. And so I went back into connection. And so it's just about choosing connection.
You know what? I always think about this when I go to a restaurant and I see people. I always feel like when I just stop and it's not me and I just take a look at everyone, I'm like, it's a real surreal moment. This is what I go through. I go, wow, this person is in front of me. I may never see this person again. So in all the years of my life, let's say it's 108 years of my life, that person had a moment in time with me. And I will have my own life, and this person will go off in that direction and have their own fucking life.
Yeah. It's a trip.
And we will never meet again, but that person will have a life and I will have a life, and we will go through similar emotional things in our lives that we will have to face. And I'm just like, it's overwhelming sometimes. Like, they're like extras in your movie, literally, like
so
the extras
funny.
you see, but they're real people. These are real people
having real lives, having whole universes
of
lives.
Then I think this. I say, and if I wanted to meet that person, I could literally go and introduce myself. but I probably won't. But if I wanted to, I could. And maybe that could be a best friend. Maybe that could be the god kid to my child, like the godmother to my, like, you can create any possibility you want at any moment. When they say there's infinite possibilities, I could hold up this coffee shop and kill everybody. Like, there are things you could do. I'm not saying that's the extreme version, but like, I could hand my card out to everyone and say, hello, I'm Nadine. And maybe 2 of those people would call me, like, or I could say nothing and nothing would happen. But my life, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can always affect another human by our actions every moment of the day.
Yeah.
We could choose something different. And I love that story that you just said, because you could have left and you never would have connected with that group. But you decided to go back and connect, and then that gave you a different outcome.
Yeah, it just changed. That particular moment really sticks out for me. And then from there, it was just compounded, right? I just kept doing that action of like stopping the story and choosing to believe something different. And now I have beautiful friendships that I feel really close to. I don't feel like an outsider anymore, especially like in new places. Like, I don't carry that label anymore for myself.
I love that. I mean, you know, I know that this episode is going to be a little bit short because this has to get going. But, you know, I wanted to touch on the crazy Latina topic because there's just, and we should unpack it another day, because there's also like the wounds that we grew up with around sex, you know. I'm curious to know how other people, like how did mommy talk to me about the birds and the bees in a weird ass way. She told me about her wedding night, and I thought that was just inappropriate. That was inappropriate. No. Yes, girl. I was like 10.
Oh, I'm sorry, sis.
No, I'm sorry. I was maybe like 11. I got my period, or maybe before my period. I don't know. And she told me, I can't even say it because she's going to be like, yo no te dije eso. But yes, you did, Mom. She told me about her wedding night.
Wow. I didn't get that talk. If I did, I blocked it out. I do not remember it, but I had been a sexually curious little girl. Oh, I don't know, 5 years old. I mean, I don't think that's sexually curious. It's just like, oh, I've discovered my clitoris. And it feels good, right? Like little kids, like they rub and they play. And I was like, oh, hi, like this feels nice. And so I was a serial masturbator.
Wow.
And I don't think mommy knew what to do with me. I think it scared her a lot, because she would try to scare me into not doing it. And so she would say things like, oh, I had dark circles under my eyes. She would say that the dark circles were from me masturbating. She would tell me I was going to like grow hair on my hands. She would ask to smell my hands.
Oh, no.
I know. And so it was
disturbing.
It's not that
TMI.
It's a lot. But look, as an adult, I had to work that stuff out. I remember being an adult in my own 1-bedroom apartment in the middle of Hollywood, still worried about masturbating by myself in my own damn room. And I remember having
you
to
were
have,
like me. I snuck that shit so good.
But I remember having to have a moment in my apartment where I was like, I can masturbate whenever I want. I don't need to wait. I don't need permission. Like, I don't need to hide it. Like, this is okay.
This is a great scene.
This is what's crazy
in a movie.
I was actually listening to, and I know this is not just mommy. I think this is just like religion, you know. Yeah. I was listening to a story about, we'll talk about this because it's a crazy ass show right now about this woman who abused her children, but she was from the Mormon church. So
did she sexually abuse them?
No, she was physically abusive towards them. But so the church, I forget what they are, but people are called Mormons. There's like the Church of something, Latter-day something.
Yeah. Sorry if you're a
I'm
Mormon.
So sorry if I'm butchering this.
Mormons are watching us,
I can't remember. But anyway, they believe that masturbation is like second to murder. Like, it's like really bad. right? And I feel like
Second to murder.
that's what they said in this documentary. It says it twice.
Oh
They
my
said it
God.
twice. Now,
Whoa.
that's kind of like how I felt growing up. Like I felt like such a bad child for masturbating. Like I was so evil. I felt so much shame and so much guilt about it. That look,
It turned you on. That's why you did more of it.
no, but you know what?
I'm
I'm going to
girl.
tell you for real. It messes with you in when you're pursuing healthy sexual relations with somebody, because I'll tell you what I needed to work out. Hidden, right? Hidden kind of thing. That's like something that would like secret would turn me on, and I had to then learn to rewire my mind about no, secret is not good. Like that's not how I want to pursue intimacy in secret. Like I know I want something that is lived and like it can be expressed and open, right? So I had to change also that in my adulthood. That's how mommy, getting mad at me for rubbing up on my stuffed animal. That's the impact it had on me.
Oh no, the impacts are real.
So now I'm raising a daughter, and I just know that whenever she starts to experience any of that, I don't want there to be any shame around it. I will tell her this is something that you do in your room. So if she's doing it in front of people, and be like, look, this is what you do in your room. Wash your hands. Make sure your hands are clean. Be clean. I don't want to make her wrong. I don't want her to feel any shame around it like I did, because that was a lot of unpacking.
Same. I snuck around. I started with Barbie. Then it moved on to hard surfaces in various parts of the house. The bathroom that we all shared.
Oh, gross. Okay, I don't need to know any more. And you do not need to give us any more details,
my secret
please.
safe place. And the things I imagined are horrible. And I will never share what those things were.
You don't have to.
But I had to unwire the shit that I used to think of in order to have an orgasm. That I had to, in my adulthood, make a conscious decision never, ever to think of again. Mm-hmm. And that comes from when you have to be in secret, when it's not allowed, when it's wrong to feel good.
Wrong. Yeah. And
there's nothing wrong to feel good. Is when you abuse it and you use it for yourself that it becomes dangerous. But in and of itself, sex, pleasure is a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. It was given to you by God.
Yeah.
It's your treat. It's your special thing. And we don't treat it as a sacred thing in this society, in the world. We treat it as like, isn't that so interesting? Why is pleasure so bad? But yet it's the thing we all are looking for, pleasure and joy, mm-hmm. and that those feelings. And yet it's associated with money, sex, lust. You don't want to know about it. You don't want to see it, but every commercial is it. Every album is it. You know what I'm saying? We're so saturated with over sexuality. Mm-hmm. And then there are men out there in the porn industry who will literally buy it and then curse the girl out or put her down for that girl causing them pleasure. I don't even understand it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I don't even understand porn. I don't get it.
There's a lot there.
Why would you treat the person that just made you feel good like shit? Mm-hmm. Why? Because you are disgusted with yourself.
I mean, yeah.
Of your own shame.
Right. That's it. That's what it is.
Because you weren't allowed to enjoy pleasure in a comfortable, safe environment.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just feel like a lot of issues in relationships, a lot of issues in society could probably be dealt with if there was, more open conversations around these things, and where people would not be judged for the choices, even like marriages that end because of infidelity, where you find out, your partner was sneaking this or that, or they had some fetish that you never knew about. It's like,
I want to have that conversation.
But where
I can't wait.
What if there was just trust and communication where like a person was safe to express what they wanted, right, or to say like, this thing turns me on, and not be afraid of like your judgment, You know,
Right.
like could there potentially be like an easy relationship, no issues, no infidelity if there was just like
I think you should link up with the
Safe.
person and marry the person and be long term with the person who allows you to have the kinds of sexual desires that you have. So long as you're not hurting anybody and it's not fucking children, all right?
right. Yeah.
You know, you can have any version and somebody who would be open and down with it. Like, what's wrong with that? There's a billion something people in the world or more. We would all have a billion or more different desires, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not all the same. Why do we all have to have
and
the same way
and
of
also
sex-
give
to
your
have sex?
partner the opportunity to choose whether or not that's something they want or not, right? So instead of like doing it behind their back, like if it's a thing, if you are wanting
If you like
something,
fucking old ladies once in a while, you know, over 80.
over it, yeah,
there's
maybe.
people who have those fetishes.
I guess so.
If that was my husband and he was like, look, 4 times a year, I need a fucking blue-haired woman.
That's what they're called, blue hair.
Blue hair is old people. I need it. I don't know why. I have this thing with old people. How do you feel about it? I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to sneak. Is this something that you would be okay with? If I loved him and me, Nadine, I probably would try it. I'd be like, you know what, babe? It has nothing to do with me. 4 times, I can trust you to just do it those 4 times. I'm going to go get mine and make it a spa day for me. During those 2 hours or 15 minutes, whatever, just treat me right. And then we don't have to talk about it 4 times a year. Just tell me, make the spa day.
I don't know. I think that might solve a lot of issues.
I would do it.
I think it would solve a lot of issues.
Now, if he was like, I want to be with men, I'd be like, no, because for me, that's too much for my mind. An old lady, I can
well,
work
at
through
least
that.
talk to you about it and let you choose what's good, what you're cool with.
Right.
I think people should just be open. Like, just what is it that you
about it.
talk about it? Talk about it.
But that's a whole nother conversation, and my sis has to go.
I gotta go.
So thanks for being here again.
We got so much to talk about.
Uncrazy Latina. Our Uncrazy Latina episode. Bye, sis.
Bye, sis.